Hi, I'm Nick, indie fantasy author and author of Fate's Conscripts, which you can get on Amazon. Today I'm answering the question, what inspired you to start writing? And honestly, I've been writing for a long time. Not necessarily books, or not necessarily get published. I used to write Star Wars fan fiction when I was in high school. And at the time it was, it served two functions. First, it worked as a creative outlet. I was able to get my creative energy out that way. But also didn't have a lot of friends in high school. And by writing fan fiction, I actually met lots of cool people online who had the same interests as I did and who didn't make me feel weird for having an encyclopedic knowledge of Star Wars, or rather the Star Wars canon as it was at the time, since it's gone through a few changes since then. But yeah, I don't know, there's a lot of stories I really liked, and I wanted to replicate them, or I wanted to kind of capture the way they make me feel. At the time, the biggest book series that I was reading that really influenced me, had a big impact, was the New Jedi Order series from Star Wars. And the kind of fan fiction I was writing at the time, intergalactic war and machinations and political assassinations and so on, were a big part of it. So that's kind of where it really started. And I'd say that nowadays, what sort of keeps me inspired is whenever I read something or I watch something that really comes and touches me, and I find myself saying like, oh, I want to do that. One of the most recent examples I can give of that was when I went to see The Northman by, I'm going to mispronounce his name, Robert Eggers. I remember coming home and saying like, I want to write whatever my version of that is. And I started writing a screenplay set in, colonial New France, and started pulling from the folk tales from that era. It was a really good exercise. I really enjoyed writing that screenplay. I need to really double down on it and rewrite it. But anyway, that's a bit of a rambling answer to what inspires me to write. Hope that helps.